It mounted up to be one of the biggest weekends of the season. Men's basketball capped off the weekend with a giant win on Senior Day. Women's hockey gets back to their winning ways as they sweep Bemidji State in the first round of the WCHA playoffs. Men's hockey sets up an epic final weekend as they split with St. Cloud and end up tied atop the NCHC going into the final week of play. And women's basketball clinches a share of their very first Big Sky regular season title. Coach Travis Brewster will be in the coach's corner to talk about that and their final game to try and grab the top seed for the playoffs. Plus, a nice thick layer of snow may still be on the ground. But both the baseball and softball seasons are getting underway, and we'll talk to the players and coaches to see what they're looking forward to. All this week on UND Insider Weekly. Welcome to UND Insider Weekly alongside my trusty companions, Tom Miller and Paul Ralston. Mitch Wigness, not so trusty, joins us. Mitch, the voice of the UND women's basketball team and UND Athletics. Paul Ralston, UND Athletics. Of course, Tom Miller from the Grand Forks Herald. Gentlemen, it was a big weekend, and it starts really with, it was of epic proportions, considering where the women's basketball team was last year compared to this year. Near the bottom last year. If it wasn't for Weber State, they would have been on the bottom last year. Now they're on top this year. Mitch, just capsulized what went on over the weekend to get a share of that championship and how big that is.
Yeah, a pair of road wins are always big in the Big Sky, but you look at who they beat. They beat Eastern Washington. That's a team that's 12-2 in their home court coming into that game, and I think it was senior leadership. Maddie Buck had probably the play of the year. North Dakota's up by 1 in the final minute. She steals a pass at the perimeter and scores on the other end, and basically that was the end of the game. So it was a huge weekend, and obviously to see what UND has been able to accomplish this year has been impressive.
You look at Coach Brewster, and he had to go out and find a few players to go into that backcourt here this season from a year ago, and they're young, inexperienced, but they've really risen to the occasion far more often than not, and that's really been a big key for them, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they've got to be happy with how much time they've gotten out of a sophomore transfer, Kelsey Knox. Came off the bench to start the season, but then when they lost Megan Lauk, she was able to insert herself in the starting lineup, and they've been a different team ever since. And you have a true freshman to come in to run the point as well, and Leah Zabla, and completely different backcourt, and I think they've been key to the success this year.
They finish off at Southern Utah, and that could be a prelude to the championship game, perhaps, or the playoffs. It'd be 1 and 2 either way you look at it.
Right.
How big is that to maybe establish something right away here?
Yeah, obviously that's if UND wins that game, they host the tournament. A couple other things could go on where they could lose and still host the tournament, but obviously you look at the game itself, it's probably going to be the number 1 versus the number 2 in that game. So obviously a preview to what could be the championship game.
Women's basketball on top of the Big Sky Conference finish off on Thursday at Southern Utah. The men's basketball team, I know Tom wants to talk about this. He was watching on his phone or on his computer when Troy Huff put in that game-winning basket on Saturday. I mean, you couldn't stage it any better than that. And this team that kind of has a few ups and downs right now is up, right?
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish to Senior Day, having Troy Huff hit that shot, and it was that highlight that they've played now online a bunch of times. It's kind of funny to go back and watch and see all the celebrations that occur at that final moment. I know I listened to on the way back from St. Cloud. Brad and I listened to Paul's call of that play, and it was a good call. What did you think?
Well,
you weren't excited, were you?
Yeah, not at all. One of the things, the first thing that came to mind was Patrick Mitchell doing it against Utah Valley just a couple of years ago. It's funny how well senior days have gone for this men's program under Coach Jones. They've really responded and had pretty good success on the final day or one of the final days for the seniors, and it was an odd day in the fact that Troy Huff was in foul trouble. He's rarely in foul trouble, and he had to come off the floor for long stretches of the game. He had a good stretch early in the second half that really got North Dakota going offensively. But then he was called upon late in the game after having to sit for a good portion of the second half as well, and to have him hit the shot maybe was cathartic maybe for him, just for his senior day the way it had gone previously to that point.
14 points in the second half. I mean, that's stepping up, as Coach Rich Glass used to say.
Well, with they needed that. With Josh Schuler going down with an injury, taking a really hard foul, they needed somebody to step up, I think.
You look at the men right now too, Tim. It's they got a big one on Tuesday night with Northern Colorado. They still have a chance at, possibly getting the 2 seed. We know the tournament's going to be in Ogden, Utah at Weber State. Hopefully that this team continues to trend upward going to tournament time. That's been the case in previous years. Hopefully that continues to be. It's going to be a big opportunity here these next couple of games with Northern Colorado and Southern Utah to finish up the season. So the Big Sky is a pick 'em this year, really, when you get to the tournament. You never know what's going to happen.
All right, we tape this show on Monday. They'll be playing on Tuesday. You won't see this till Wednesday, so we don't know the outcome, obviously, of the Northern Colorado game. Then they finish up against Southern Utah. Now, the UND women's hockey team behind Megan Dufault's goal in overtime beat Bemidji State to sweep the WCHA first-round series and get back on track a little bit. Tom, do you think they're back on track? They've got all their Olympians back, and they've got a full roster heading into the tournament this weekend against Wisconsin.
Well, they did the most important thing and got the win. I imagine they're not completely satisfied with the way they played against Bemidji State, but I think the biggest thing is wins aren't going to be easy in playoff time, no matter who you're playing. And UND right now just needs to win games, because in order to get into that NCAA tournament, they're going to have to win games, and it's going to take 4 or 5 more here.
Well, the problem is playing Wisconsin is going to be similar to playing Bemidji State. It's not like Minnesota, and they're going to face the trapping and the slowdown and everything else that they faced against Bemidji State. Maybe it was a good prelude for that.
Absolutely, and it looks like, I was just going to add too, Tim, that I read on Brad Schlossman's blog that it sounds like UND has settled on a goaltender moving forward. It seems like Shelby Benzie from Warroad has kind of assumed the lead role in the pipes, and so they're going to have to be very good in front of her, because Wisconsin won't give you very much here on Friday, and as you mentioned, you got to be patient. And sometimes you can't be leaning too forward, because basically I think Wisconsin's game is always to kind of suck you in, having 5 players going in that offensive zone, and then you're leaning too far forward and they counter you and get one.
They're so well coached by Mark Johnson. I think that he coaches according to their talent, which a lot of teams don't. A lot of guys go out and say, this is how we play, this is how I coach the game, this is how we're going to play the game. I think Mark Johnson adapts to whatever talent he has, and the talent he has right now is not as good as he had as far as offensive talent in the past. So they're going to find themselves in a defensive struggle again. And no doubt about it.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's Friday in Bemidji, and the other game was Minnesota Duluth. Yep. So a couple of good semifinals that day, no doubt about it.
The men's hockey team had some fun last Friday night in the second period against St. Cloud State. They go in tied for the NCHC lead. They come out of there tied for the NCHC lead. But Tom, Friday night certainly was entertaining. Where that second period came from, I'm not sure. Bob Moskow is still shaking his head, the coach of St. Cloud State, on how that happened. But I thought it was as much North Dakota as it was St. Cloud not being very good.
Right. Well, I think St. Cloud they weren't tying up guys in front of the net. I think, people had all day to put home some rebounds, and Farragher was leaving some rebounds to St. Cloud State's goalie. I think this Saturday night, that was a lot tougher to come about. A lot of UND shots came from the perimeter. That was the difference between Friday and Saturday night. Of course, I wrote about UND's great explosive offense on Friday. So Saturday they come back and score 1 goal. That's how that goes.
It was a little odd, I thought, on Saturday night, because it's the first time in a long time that the entire team wasn't on the same page, I don't think. There were a few guys that they count on to have big games that just weren't as good as they've been. But still, they were competitive, and had it not been for a very nice play by Corey Thorson for the game-winning goal on Saturday night. Who knows if that would have went into overtime? And then Michael Parks had a wide-open net chance, extremely wide-open net chance for North Dakota, and couldn't put it in. So it wasn't like they were out of the game. This weekend, Western Michigan. Your thoughts on that one? We went to Western and swept them, but they're as tough a team to play as any team in the league.
I think it's going to be similar to Saturday, where Western might not have a very explosive offense, but they don't give you anything easy. You have to earn everything. I know UND did sweep in Kalamazoo, but they needed a pretty impressive save from Zane Gothberg that almost sent you through the press box there late to pull off that sweep. So this is a big series for Western Michigan, big series for UND with the Penrose Cup on hand. Should make for interesting hockey.
How do you think that will affect the team? It's senior night. Obviously, there's only a couple of seniors on this team, but 3 seniors as a matter of fact. But chance to play for a champ. I think that plays into it now. I don't think it did before, but I think it does now.
Yeah, I think it's in everybody's mind. to some extent, but I think also, like St. Cloud State coach Bob Motzko talked about after the game, is that the entire league does have further aspirations than that league championship. It's kind of a nice feather in the cap, but at the same time, everybody's looking further down the road. So it's going to be a nice milestone if they do achieve winning the Penrose Cup, but I'm sure everybody's still looking forward past that.
This weekend at home against Western Michigan. Coming up, one game remains in the women's basketball season that comes with a chance to clinch the top spot. Coach Brewster sits down with us to talk about the end of the season and what's ahead.
The great thing about snowboarding is the adventure. All day long, you're finding different ways of doing different things, and it's never the same. I don't mind snowboarding alone, but if you've got your friends up there on the mountain and you guys can all cruise down together, it's a really, really fun time. Snowboarding has been really fun and really rewarding for me, and I want it to be fun and rewarding for my customers as well. I'm Lindsay McKinstry, and I'm one of the snowboard experts at Shields.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Cities Area Transit. We go where you go.
Did you know that riding the city bus is free for UND and Northland students?
I ride the bus so I don't have to find a parking spot, and then I'm always within an easy walking distance to all of my classes.
I'm going green, so I ride my bike everywhere. But when the weather turns bad, I take the bus. And why not? It's free.
Cities Area Transit. Enjoy the ride.
North Dakota hockey fans, playoff time is here. UND will host the quarterfinal round of the NCHC playoffs on March 14th and 15th at Ralph Engelstad Arena, with the third game Sunday, March 16th, if necessary. Package tickets are on sale now and are only $40 for adults and $20 for children. Single game tickets become available on Wednesday, March 12th. Get your seats for the inaugural NCHC quarterfinals at the Ralph.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Burger King, where taste is king, Grand Forks Cities Area Transit, and the Ground Round.
After only 6 conference wins and a 9th place finish last year, women's basketball clinched a share of the regular season title this past Saturday with a chance to secure the top spot in the conference this week. The man at the helm of that team, Travis Brewster, joins us in the coach's corner. Travis, congratulations first off. Nice turnaround, huh?
We'll take her.
How do you explain that?
Well, it's about the perseverance of our team. They set a goal out there and they went for it, and they put a lot of work in the off season. So very proud of this group and how they've handled themselves. It could have been easy to kind of fall the other way.
You look at Maddie Buck as your leader. She made some plays down the stretch for you. A big 3 in that game at Eastern Washington, and then another play late in the game as well to kind of cinch it. It starts with your leadership, I'm assuming. Yep. She's kind of grown as she was called upon early in her career to be a player here at UND, but that leadership thing sometimes sticks or it doesn't, and she's kind of embraced that leadership position, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think you look at how we've done things through the years past. It's always been part of the UND way. Maddie and herself were playing early as a freshman. It's just one of those situations that arose. But I think a lot of it has to do with how she handled things in the off season. A lot of conversations about how to go about things, and also just time in the gym. So we've been pretty fortunate. You look at Katie Hodak, who's showed perseverance battling through injuries. You got Alyssa Wall, who battled through an injury to come back and play for us. And then you got Megan Lauk, who played and then got injured. It tells you they had a plan, and they talked about it as a group amongst themselves, being the captains, and that's allowed us to have the success that we've had.
Coach, your bench has been really good, especially in the last few weeks. Talk about, especially Emily Evers coming off the bench in limited minutes, 19 minutes on Saturday, 12 points, 13 rebounds, 3 block shots. Talk about your bench and how well they've played.
Well, I think you look at Emily, in our situation, I mean, probably most other schools should probably be starting.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that tells you how our team is. It's a team concept. I think Emily's obviously gives us a great lift off the bench in her time when she's on the floor. But, you look at a Michaela Dyer who comes up and gives us a nice lift. I think Suri Burke has been a very useful player, being utilized the right way for us. They're just playing good basketball together, and it's a selfless team, and nobody's really getting caught up who scores the most points or anything like that. It's more about, hey, let's take care of business and let's get her done.
Eventually, there's an NCAA tournament berth on the line, and hopefully it's right behind us here at the Betty. But is it more difficult now with that? You can see that. Is it more difficult to go game to game and try to focus on each one instead of thinking of that big picture?
I don't think so. I think for us, with one game this week, it's pretty easy to kind of keep our focus on that one game. We're talking about a team that's hot. They're potentially they could share the conference crown with us. We've talked about it as a team. That's not a problem at all. But at the same time, we only got one game to focus on. You can't control any of the other stuff yet. So let's take care of business.
So the excitability factor you're not concerned with?
Oh, I'm sure they'll be excited. I want them to be. I guess I look at it from the standpoint of they should be excited. You know what I mean? They really should. They've worked very hard this year. They should have a chance to enjoy it a little bit. But I also hope they're a little bit greedy and don't want to share.
How much will it mean to be at home if you're there for the conference tournament?
That's why we don't like to share. No, it's one of those things of, to be able to play in front of our fans and our community would be awesome. I think that you look at our team and how things are, it's a special opportunity for everybody.
Coach, do you look at Thursday as, I know you're trying to clinch that and get it so it comes here in Grand Forks, but do you look at Thursday as possibly a preview to a Big Sky Conference, a big matchup?
Well, I think so. I think it's one of those things. You looked at our game here before. I mean, it was a tight-knit game the whole way. It gives you tournament type of feel, right? Playing this game. Obviously, with the doubleheader with the men, and there's going to be more people there. It's going to be significant for our men's program as well. I think it's a great type of atmosphere that we're getting ready to play in.
Coach, best of luck in Cedar City against Southern Utah. Hope we see you back here playing at the Betty next week.
Me too. Thanks a lot.
Coach Travis Brewster of the UND women's basketball team. Well, still to come, the temperature may have hit the negative 20s over the weekend. The baseball and softball seasons are well underway. Players and coaches talk about what they're looking forward to this season.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Cities Area Transit. We go where you go.
Did you know that riding the city bus is free for UND and Northland students?
I ride the bus so I don't have to find a parking spot, and then I'm always within an easy walking distance to all of my classes.
I'm going green, so I ride my bike everywhere. But when the weather turns bad, I take the bus. And why not? It's free.
Cities Area Transit. Enjoy the ride.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Winter fashion is a wonderland, and you'll find all the season's best looks waiting for you at Shields. So let it snow.
This Thursday, Through These Doors returns with an all-new episode. Join the senior class as they reflect on their time here at North Dakota as the regular season comes to a close. Catch the new episode this Thursday at 9 p.m. on UND Insider and Friday at 6:30 p.m. on Midco Sports Network. Well, softball and baseball have a couple of the most jam-packed seasons playing anywhere, from 40 to 50 games on an average in a season, and to fit those all in during the spring, they usually have to start their season in the colder months, such as this one. Playing in chilly temperatures, though, doesn't waver the passion these student athletes have for their sport.
We actually, from game 1 to game 5, we made huge strides. And the fact that our freshman pitchers, Megan Henstrom, Sophie Pratt, pitched great innings, did a real good job. Defense was a little shaky. We need to work on that. Offense, we scored enough runs to win some games. I really saw a nice momentum from game 1 to game 5. We put ourselves in a great chance to win, a great opportunity to win that last game. I loved our energy in the dugout. I really think as we progress, people look at this as a process through the whole year, and we're going to be real happy with what where we're at the end of the season.
Being outside for the first time, and I thought we played, the things that we worked on inside, or being in the right spot at the right time, the effort, things like that. And I thought those were all really good. We had some routine plays that were wobbled a little bit, but anytime you have runners, going, from a different team, and anytime you're playing on a different surface than what you're normally used to, it can cause some problems. And it did a little bit for us this weekend, but I think the speed of the game itself, overall, our kids handled it pretty good. And I was really pleased with the pitchers this weekend. I thought they threw really well, and gave us a shot to win a couple of games. And we just got to get better, at the plate and on the bases, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, I know we practiced the first day, and girls were like rolling in the dirt and in the grass. They were just excited to be out there. And it's a little frustrating when we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but it was nice to see that we did gradually get better throughout the games.
It's tough, but we're excited to get back on the field. But being in the Hislop, we do as much as we can, but getting back on the field, playing real baseball, real grass and turf, it's exciting. It's get out the kinks early in the season, but what it really counts is the conference games we're looking forward to coming with Utah Valley in a few weeks. I think our mentality is the biggest thing. Coach Dodson always preaches, be mentally tough, be mentally strong, always give yourself a chance to win at the end of the game. So definitely our mentality. We're never out of the fight, never, even with our backs against the wall, we never feel like we're defeated, even in the late innings. Because times like last year, we had walk-off wins, and those are huge for us, and we're hoping to do the same, if not more, this year.
The team, in general, has actually done a pretty good job being like a family unit. A lot of the guys regard each other as brothers, which I buy into definitely. I mean, it's been a really easy transition as far as the teammates go, just making it easy for a freshman to come in, and I don't know, we're a really tight-knit unit, and I think that helps with the team chemistry, just getting used to each other's playing styles and everything. It just makes it that much easier.
It's been a long time coming. In 4 years, the program's made huge leaps and bounds, and this year is our best year by far. We got the most depth in the bullpen, most depth in the lineup, and it's a good final hurrah. Definitely looking forward to this season and expect great things from us.
It's been great. The atmosphere of our team in the dugouts is so much fun. And even when we're down, we still have a lot of high energy, and everyone's always cheering, everyone's very supportive, and just that aspect of our game is very encouraging.
I like the chemistry of this team, and I'd like to see them, I'm looking forward to them coming together. The energy that we had our first weekend, and what I see it's going to be, I can't wait for it to come to fruition. I really like the makeup of our freshman class and what that brings to the group that's already here, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
For this season, I'm really excited to see the development of all of our players. We have a lot of freshmen playing right now, and seeing them advance and develop will be really exciting to watch.
I think any one of the three aspects of it, pitching, hitting, and defense, can carry us in. I think it's going to be a matter of, if one is down, one of the other two, if not both, will help us. I know we have the pitching that can keep us in games until the hitting comes around. I know we have the hitting that can score runs if our pitching is struggling, and I know we have the defense that can keep us in games if both aspects are struggling. I think that it's not going to be one thing. It's going to be all three components are strong enough to win games for us, to keep us in games. When we have all three playing together, we're going to be pretty hard to beat.
We are heading into a monster of a weekend, one that can make or break a season for a lot of the teams at UND right now. Coming up, we'll see what the panel is looking forward to this week.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Burger King, where taste is king, Grand Forks Cities Area Transit, and the Ground Round.
North Dakota hockey fans, playoff time is here. UND will host the quarterfinal round of the NCHC playoffs on March 14th and 15th at Ralph Engelstad Arena, with the third game Sunday, March 16th, if necessary. Package tickets are on sale now and are only $40 for adults and $20 for children. Single game tickets become available on Wednesday, March 12th. Get your seats for the inaugural NCHC quarterfinals at the Ralph.
For 50 years, the Big Sky Conference has been showing the world who we are and how we play. 50 years of authenticity, hard work, community, and 50 years of playing to win.
The FCS
But remembering that our mission is bigger than winning. We're the Big Sky, the heart of Division I, the heart of the American West.
It's crunch time around many of the winter sports here at UND. What's churning your pot this week? What's churning yours, Mitch?
I don't know if it's churning my pot, but I'm looking forward to an old school basketball doubleheader on Thursday at Cedar City at Southern Utah. The women obviously a chance to clinch the #1 seed, and the men a chance to get to that #2 spot. So I'm looking forward to Thursday.
Tom Miller.
I'll have to say UND hosting Western Michigan. Interesting to see if they lock up the cup and if anybody can lift it. I'm interested to see if they can. That's a heavy trophy.
Because Rocco can hide in it.
That also can happen.
I know he's in there. You're still trying to lift it. Paul, what are you looking for?
Well, Thursday is going to be very big in Cedar City, Utah, on the basketball side. But I am looking forward to seeing how our women's hockey team progresses here out in Bemidji in the final face-off or frozen face-off out in Bemidji here this weekend, starting on Friday against Wisconsin.
I guess that's one I'm looking forward to as well, to see how they play against that type of team again. And Coach Adolski has said that they've got to win that tournament or they're done. Their season will end in Bemidji. And I'm also looking forward to the UND men's hockey team against Western Michigan. I know there were great battles in Western Michigan and Kalamazoo, and when you've got a championship on the line, it's always more fun, makes it more fun to watch those games at the Ralph this weekend as well. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. You churned well. Insider Weekly will return 2 weeks from now as we recap the Women's Big Sky Conference Tournament and the NCHC quarterfinals. The new episode will air on March 19th at 8 p.m. on UNDsports.com and Friday, March 21st at 5:30 on Midco Sports Network.